Welcome to the Quantum Empath. I'm your host, Kelly Michelle, intuitive guide, alchemist, and reality hacker. This is a space where esoteric knowledge, ancient wisdom, personal development, and quantum physics meet to help you shift your frequency, break old patterns, and step into the life your soul came here to live. Let's expand your awareness, upgrade your energy, and create your dream reality, one episode at a time. Let's begin. Yesterday, the message that was coming through really strongly for me was that it's time to have more fun. And I know that I've been saying this, but actually putting it into action has not happened until I got that message yesterday, and I realized that I have been outsourcing my fun to other people, waiting for other people to show up for me to go do the thing. And I'm pretty good about getting out and going hiking. I'm pretty good about going skiing by myself. But as far as listening to music and dancing and laughing and having a good time, I have been waiting for other people to make that happen. And so yesterday I decided I'm going to stop outsourcing my fun to other people, and I am going to create my own fun today. I ended up going skiing, and after I went skiing, I came home, took a shower, and I had to go into town and get some groceries. But I decided to go to a restaurant that I typically only go to when I'm with other people. But there is a bar, and I was really thinking about their pizza, but I also needed to go get groceries, and I thought, you don't need to go have a beer and get a pizza. Just go get your groceries, go home. And I really was not feeling the call, but for whatever reason, I just kept hearing this, just go do it. Get a pizza to go have a beer. And so I did. And it was kind of a pain because the way that I exited out of the parking lot, I had to go down the road, do a U-turn, come back and get back. So I was coming in from the north, and I go in, I order my pizza and a beer and tell her I'd like it to go and pay. And I'm deciding, okay, I'm going to do a social media detox. I'm just going to sit here in my quiet. I was watching a little bit of the X Games on the screen and talking to the bartenders. And this girl comes out and she says, "Did you want your pizza for here or to go?" And I said, "Oh, to go is fine." And she's like, "Oh, that's weird. He put it in a box, even though the tag didn't specify." And she said, "Okay, thank you." And she walked away. And I sat there and I thought, well, that's because he probably is on a similar frequency, and telepathically he and I were communicating or something, and he just had this instinct to know that it was going in a box. So she comes back with the pizza in a box, and I tell her my theory. I said, we're going to be getting more telepathic, and he probably got this wavelength of me just wanting to take it with me. And she's like, I don't doubt that. And I said, she goes, yeah, my sister's totally into that. And she's like, I'm trying to tap into it, and it just really hasn't happened. And I said, have you listened to the telepathy tapes? And she's like, what? What's the telepathy tapes? And I said, go listen to it. It's an amazing podcast series that originally started out about these nonverbal autistic kids who are telepathically communicating with their parents and their teachers. And then I said, but it branches out into so many different areas of phenomenon that we are really just starting to remember that we're capable of, and more people are remembering how powerful they are, and their gifts are coming online. And she's like, wow. And I said, what? And she goes, I have a nonverbal autistic son. And I was like, holy shit. Whoa. Wow. That's crazy. Then I say, well, first of all, no one ever comes back out from the kitchen usually to ask a question like that. And I said, I believe I was meant to meet you today. And I go on to tell her about the egg, and that it has been known to help these children who are nonverbal actually start speaking again. And I know I'm not supposed to make any medical claims, but this is a testimony from a parent of a child who was nonverbal. And so I said, if that's something that you're interested in, let's talk. And then she says, did you just get those earrings? And it's this pair of earrings. I wear them all the time, but I've had them for a couple of years. And she goes, I just bought my sister the same pair of earrings. And they're kind of like spirals. So frequency, wavelength, that immediate attraction that I have, this antenna to be able to say the right thing to the right person at the right time, is a superpower. That's been happening more and more lately. And right now, my guides are just asking me to focus within. For the next 12 days, they said, focus within, quit outsourcing the validation of the miracles that you're experiencing. Quit outsourcing those to other creators. And what I mean by that is, I love following channels that validate how magical reality can be when you're creating it from a place of understanding, higher consciousness, and expanded consciousness. And I'm being reminded that I have my own magical experiences that I can draw from, and I don't need to listen to other people to validate this. I don't need to outsource my fun to other people. Last night, instead of watching some quantum physics or ancient aliens or anything spiritual, I turned on stand-up comedy. and just laughed. And I had pizza, and I opened a bottle of wine, which I typically don't drink alone. But I thought, okay, I am not outsourcing my evening of what I could be in joy and waiting for somebody else to be here to do that with me. That's all I'm saying is it's an inside job. It's my responsibility to fill my cup. It's not anybody else's responsibility. And the more we take accountability for our internal state, the more coherent we are, and the more we magnetize people to us through being a clear channel. That heart-mind coherence. I'm so amazed at the people I'm meeting, and there's these little threads of 11:11 on the timer, little threads of commonality that I say to myself, oh, I see why you're here. Oh, I get it, because I'm going to be able to help you with that, or I'm going to be able to help you with that. And I'm just this kind of jack of all trades, except jack of all sorts of weird information that, for whatever reason, the people that end up coming to me for the coaching, there's always something for them because of my multi-dimensional existence, my constant wanting to learn and grow and expand. And the message that my guides are sharing with me is, you don't need to learn anything else to be effective at what you're doing. You don't need to take any more classes. You don't need to do anything extra, that it is already done. I am working with the natural patterns of the universe. I am exactly where I'm meant to be, and I say this all from my perspective, and if you're listening to this, I would gather to say this is all possible for you too. And I think I have this block around wanting to push my ideas onto other people because I'd rather just be a perspective, one perspective for you to look at, and not paint yourself into a box by me telling you this is the way it is and there's no other way. And I'm really uncomfortable with that. I just like to offer a perspective as if I am your big sister who has gone through the various grades of school, and I got to high school. I have some tips and tricks, which classes to take, which teachers to avoid, that kind of thing. I look at myself more like a big sister guide. I don't want to be anybody's guru. And I had someone graduate from my 6-week plan, the Empowered Empath plan, who their consciousness raised a lot. And we worked through a bunch of different areas and cleared a bunch of trapped emotions, and we recoded codes in the energetic field. And I mean, this person is shining their light so bright, but also said, I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready yet to go out and fly on my own. And I said, well, you're more ready than ever. And I'm right here if you feel like you need more, come and talk to me, but I want you to try and see how you do out there in the wild. Experiment with it, because the reality is we only really embody things by doing them, by experimenting with the world, by trying different modalities, by learning things that light us up. There's no one way for someone to get there, and then you get there and you realize there's no end. There's no end to what you're creating. If you think about it, I mean, I think about how ants or bees operate, and they're just like doing their little thing, making their hives, making their little ant hills, doing their thing. We're just doing our thing. We are like nature. We are here to create. We are here to experience. We are here to live. And most of us spend our days creating in somebody else's reality, some corporation that you're working for that was somebody else's dream, and they're at the top getting paid and doing all their things, and you're like down there making $10 an hour working for the machine, when you could empower yourself to be your own boss, to be your own small business. And it doesn't mean you have to be in the spiritual world. I think it's important that you do something that you love. And if you're doing something you love, they say you'll never work a day in your life. And so I'm working with someone right now who works at a grocery store and absolutely loves his job. He loves the customers. He loves being active, but he's also very empathetic, and he takes on all these other people's energetic fields all the time. And not everybody is amazing. Not everybody has a lovely, beautiful, energetic field. And when you're working in a public space like that, and you're an empath, and you're not aware of the amount of energy that's being forced into your field, then you're not cleansing it. Eventually this is going to just start weighing you down more and more and more and more. And I see this like black cloud of dust around someone. And as we work through the various energetic bodies over the 6 weeks, it starts to clear. It starts to recode. It starts to become more coherent, and you become more magnetic. And I mean, he said he's already getting compliments after his first clearing. People are saying like, oh, you have the most amazing smile, and just saying nice things to him. And I'm like, ooh, you're turning your light on. And it's really cool. And about that, that's my Empowered Empath program. And I do it remote. I do it in person. But I do it because I know that by changing one person at a time, that they will have a ripple effect out into the world. And really, that's the goal. The goal is to raise the vibration of the planet, one soul at a time. And speaking of souls, this client didn't really care for his experience in the egg. And he's like, I just want to talk. And I said, no, we can't just talk. We got to work on the nervous system and the energetic body. I'm not a therapist, I'm a coach, and I'm a soul therapy coach because we're really working with the soul body, the spirit. And so, with that being said, it's an inside job, and there's no one way to get there. And if I gave you any advice, I would say find somebody, whether that's me or somebody else, that you resonate with, and go with somebody who, when you hear them speak, it feels like home. And not everybody is going to hear my voice and think, she feels like home. There's some people who are going to say, ooh, she sounds kind of nasally, or she's, she sounds old. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying. We're operating in a frequency-based system. And as you change your frequency, you're going to start finding your frequency family of sorts that are just going to automatically resonate with you. And be mindful of that, because those are your soul family, your soul connection, your soul tribe, your collective that you came here to work with and assist. Every single one of us that is raising our frequency, that is aware of the fact that we are becoming less carbon, more crystalline, everybody who is understanding that consciousness, that we are consciousness, the more of us that hold that frequency, the more we share our light, and the more we start to ripple out that light to humanity. And I have a really good feeling about it. And I'm excited to see where this takes us. I'm excited to see what this means for my kids' futures and their kids. I know I'm a generational curse breaker, and unfortunately, my kids are going to have some cleanup to do because I didn't get on this path until they were older. So they'll have some work that they need to work through, but I am sure that their kids are going to have a different experience in this world. So it's exciting times. If you've heard this entire recording, thank you so much. You are my people, my tribe. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to me. The links are below. Thank you for being here. I love you, and have a beautiful day.